I may be a misanthrope, but I'm always excited to see you guys. So thanks for being here. Um, so is the alpaca or llama. Get to choose your own Christmas sweater adventure. All right, let's give the shoulders a little roll out. Glasses off to the side. Get all of the extra holiday crunchiness out. And let's roll forward a few times. Good. Back again. And then just feel those shoulder heads press back, shoulder blades release down. You can take your hands to your thighs. Do a little peek at your feet. Make sure that your legs are about hips distance apart. So you're sitting nice and tall here, pressing down into your sit bones, lengthening through the sides of your waist. Allow your eyelids to close. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. Smooth, full, deep inhale. And let the breath go, ha. Inhale, fill up. Sigh the breath out, let it go, ha. So do that a couple more times if you need to. Eventually, we're all going to fill our lips and we're going to start to inhale through our nose and then also exhale through our nose. Listening to that sound of your breath, it becomes the most important thing right now. It kind of helps to focus the mind. It helps to harness your attention. It starts to have this nice calming quality. This might be the first chance you've had to slow down today, so soak it up, enjoy it. Another couple moments here, just soaking up the quiet, connecting with your breath, maybe getting curious about how your body is feeling as well. So doing a little scan. Where are things feeling easier today? Where is there some tension? Where are you holding on or gripping that you don't need to? All right, so from here, let's gently blink our eyes open. Let's just bring the fingertips to the shoulder heads so you can kind of press the elbows back so you're getting that stretch and openness across your heart. And then just nice and easy, just going side to side. You don't necessarily need to concentrate or coordinate this with the breath. You certainly could if that feels good. You can move slower or faster. It's like you're a little agitator on an old school washing machine. I don't even know if they make them like that anymore. You might be getting some little crackles in your spine and in your neck. So do a couple more to each side. And then come back to center. Stretch the arms out wide. Shoulder blades are gently squeezing in towards each other. Deep inhale. Exhale, let's twist to the right. Stretch out. And then release your hands down. That left hand can be either on your right thigh or your left thigh. Kind of just depends on how your body is feeling so far. You're using a little leverage to help press those shoulder heads back. You're finding a sense of cobra pose in the upper body, that gentle lift of your sternum. And then you might be moving towards bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Couple more breaths here. Good, deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind, come to center. Inhale, take the arms out wide. So firming muscle to bone, and then exhale, twist to the left. On your inhale, make your wingspan a little bigger, and then exhale, releasing your hands down, right hand on left thigh, maybe right thigh, grabbing a piece of chair behind you, and then just giving yourself a little leverage, using the strength of your arms to help you wrap those right ribs to the left a little more. Check in with that sound of your breath, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. And you might be bringing your gaze out over your left shoulder. Breath smooth and steady. Getting curious about how this side feels a little different than the other. Take a deep inhale. We're going to exhale, unwind, come to center. Hands release to your thighs, and we're going to move right into our cat-cow. So as you inhale, you're rocking to the fronts of your sit bones. Exhaling, you're rounding in, chin dropping towards chest, getting this flexion and extension in the spine. Great way to warm it up. It also is this nice opportunity to just see how it's feeling. So as always, there's going to be places that feel really good. There's going to be places that feel tighter on any given day. Just kind of noticing. And we're remembering that we're at the beginning of class right now, so things are going to shift in the next hour. All right, so just continue like this. A few more rounds. If you'd like to add arms, you could extend one arm forward and up. So just kind of Helps to gently warm up the shoulder girdle. And even though this is not made of real alpaca or llama wool, it's very hot. So taking off a layer, these synthetics, I tell you, King Supers, synthetics, much better. Right. Getting really warm. All right. Couple more rounds here. Make sure you're nice and even. And then come back to your nice tall seat. So finding your mountain pose. And from here, let's just get into the neck a little bit. So go ahead and drop your chin towards your chest. And it might be the tiniest movement beginning. So we're trying to find length and openness in the back of the neck. And take a little bit of maneuvering to get there sometimes. So don't force it. Notice if your shoulders are trying to help out the situation. So if they're creeping up around your ears, go ahead and soften them down. And then taking several breaths, moving nice and slow. Keep that chin tucked. Let's start to make your way towards that right shoulder. And notice as you're going, you're going to start to feel different sensation in the left side of your neck, even the shoulder area. So take a couple of breaths in any spots that you might need to, do a little less if you need to. If you'd like to release your left fingertips towards the floor, it's like giving yourself a little counterweight. You can check that out, see how it feels. Sometimes it can be too much. So if that's the case for you, just put that hand back on your thigh. Just loading the system. Okay, let's go ahead and return our left hand to thigh if you took that variation. And then nice and slow, just roll on back to center. So chin drops towards chest. Second time here, maybe the back of your neck is already starting to lengthen a little bit. So just noticing, might not be happening yet, that's also fine. And then taking several rounds. To move towards bringing that left ear towards your left shoulder. Linger in those spots where you need to, where you're feeling some intense stretch. And then if you wanted to release those right fingertips towards the floor, giving a little counterweight here might serve to intensify the stretch that you're feeling in your neck and in your shoulder. Good. You can return your right hand to your right thigh. And then roll back to center. And a few more breaths here. So back to where we started. How is it different? As you inhale, lift your chin parallel to the floor. Good. Release the arms down by your sides. And then let's inhale, take the arms out and up. And then little internal rotation at the shoulder socket. Press the air out and down. Very nice. Inhale. This time we reach forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. A few more times like this. Out and up. So palms face up. Good. And then you spin the thumbs to face forward. And then like you're moving through really thick air. Give yourself a little resistance as you press down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, forward and down. Each palms gently spin open, out and up. Good. Exhale, out and down. Inhale, forward and up. And let's actually stay here. So just take your left hand to your outer right arm. Gently give yourself a little internal rotation. Bend your right elbow. And then you can take your left hand on top of your right elbow, just giving yourself a little weight there. So feeling a stretch, the outseam of the arm, maybe the armpit area. Send your breath to any spots that are a little creaky, a little tight. All right, so really root into your sit bones here. Deep inhale, lengthen through both sides of your waist. And then as you exhale, you're gonna side bend to the left. Keep a little weighted feeling in that right sit bone. And then you can release your left hand down and extend that right arm up and over. It's getting that nice lateral stretch. Might feel a little turning of these left ribs up towards the ceiling. Breath smooth and steady here. These look gorgeous. Maybe you try to lengthen that left side a little so it's more even with that right side. Reach that left arm up. Good. And then think outer hip squeezing in. Inhale. Come on up. And then let's exhale. Release the arms down. You might be feeling a little heat in that upper right arm. So let's just take a couple of breaths here. Kind of let that nervy sensation exit the body before we come into that second side. Good. All right. So here we go. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms forward and up. You're going to bring your right hand to that left arm, just manually finding a little internal rotation. Good. And then you try to hold on to that as you put that right hand on top of your elbow. Just using the strength of your arm to give you a little weight there. Breath smooth and steady. How is this side different? All right, so feel those sit bones rooting heavy. And then as you exhale, side bend to the right and release that right arm down. Lengthen that left arm. So feeling this nice stretching through that left side of your body, even as you're twisting those right ribs up towards the ceiling. Breath smooth and steady. That inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose. All right, so find a little lengthening through the right side of your waist. Stretch that right arm out. So a little oblique work here. Ooh, and then inhale up to center. As you exhale, release the arms down and give them a little wiggle out if you need to. You just can take a few breaths in your Tadasana, your mountain pose, as you start to feel some of that heat and that nervy feeling dissipate on that left side. Very good. All right, so let's just move into some just side to side stretching with the breath, which always feels really nice. So we're going to inhale, take that left arm up and over. Exhale, release down. And then inhale, right arm up and over. And exhale, release. And then you're just continuing, finding a pace that feels good for you. So you might be a little different than me, the other students in class today. You're always welcome to close your eyes as we come into these like little mini flows. Sometimes that can be really nice. It kind of just helps you to tune everything else out and get really focused on your body and the sensations that you're getting. And help you to really focus on that sound of your breath. Just notice how it feels good to move with the breath, find this rhythm in your body. Good. Do 2 more full cycles. So you're probably going to end on that left side. We're going to segue into just some classic sun salutes. So still holding on to this idea of movement, but just adding on a little bit. So as you find your Tadasana, your mountain pose, if you have blocks that you'd like to set up, those can be really nice. You can place them on either side of your feet. Not necessary. And also, we know there's lots of ways to modify these. All right. So here we go. Maybe just one quick peek. Just make sure that your knees are still over your ankles. Do any little adjustments that you need to. As we inhale, we take the arms either out and up or forward and up, whatever feels best. And then as you exhale, you can swan dive in, or you could use your hands to help you roll on down. Drop your chin towards your chest, lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale, this is where you might press into those blocks or a table in front of you. Hands could come to shins or thighs as well. Exhale, roll back in. And then inhale, you can roll up here, or you can reverse swan dive out. Pardon me. And as you exhale, hands come together at your heart. All right, inhale, reach, Utthita Hastasana into Tadasana. Exhaling, folding into your Uttanasana. Inhaling, lengthening Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back in to that deep forward fold. And then inhale, rise on up, take up space. Exhale, Hands to heart center. You've got 3 more of these, just moving with your breath. If you'd prefer to just do classic cat-cow or to sit quietly if you need a little break, that is absolutely fine. Good. When you're done with that 3rd round, just pause in your Tadasana, your mountain pose, palms together at your heart, eyes closed. I'm taking a few breaths, checking in, noticing how you're feeling, observing the heat inside your body. Maybe it feels like you're sitting a little taller. And then you can blink your eyes open. So we're going to come into another twist here. Going to do it with our crescent pose. So options are to keep your legs exactly as they are. If you'd like to extend your left leg to straight, you could also do that variation. So more of a crescent pose here. Arms released by your side. Inhale. Take the arms out and up. And let's just take a few breaths here. You might be bringing your gaze up. You might even be bringing your palms to touch together. You're feeling that lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. Good. And then you can bring your gaze forward as you exhale. Take the arms out wide. Feel those shoulder blades plugging in towards each other. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. We twist to the right again. Inhale. Really lengthen out. Find that giant wingspan and then exhale. Once again, hands release down. Left hand can be on left thigh. It can be to the outside of that right thigh. Finding that action of pressing in the hands to help you press your shoulder heads back. Wrapping those left ribs to the right. And then depending upon how you're feeling here, this might feel like plenty of twists. If you feel pretty warm and you'd like to hook that left elbow to that right thigh and then press your right palm into your left palm. So you're kind of hinging forward as well. You can find a slightly deeper twisting crescent here. Bring a little extra attention to your inhale. And then wherever you're at, let's all just start to unwind and take a little forward fold here. So you might be using your blocks again. You could use your hands on your thighs. Doesn't have to be a deep forward fold. You might notice a nice little hamstring stretch in that left leg, particularly if that leg is extended. All right, so wherever you're at, let's go ahead and inhale, lengthen forward. It's like that Ardha Uttanasana. And then you can bring your hands to your thighs. Next inhale, you can press up to a tall seat. Beautiful work. And then let's go ahead and bend that left knee if you have that leg extended, and we'll come into our second side. So you can stay here with Tadasana legs, or maybe you extend your right leg forward, legs about hip distance apart, arms released by your sides. As you inhale, find your crescent pose. So really finding lots of length through both sides of your waist. You're getting nice and tall. You could imagine that somebody is gently tractioning you up by your wrists. You might press palms together. You might find a little lift of your sternum as you bring your gaze up. Couple breaths here. And then you can bring your gaze forward. Take the arms out wide. Nice, deep inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Deep inhale. Find that giant wingspan. And then exhale. Hands release down, so you're finding a little leverage to press your shoulder heads back as you wrap your right ribs to the left. And then the option is to stay here like this, especially if this is feeling nice in your body. If you'd like to, start to lean forward and hook that right elbow onto that left thigh, and then you can press your left palm into your right palm. Maybe you're bringing your gaze up over that left shoulder. As you inhale, can you find length through that right side of your waist? Good. From here, we're all just going to unwind, take our little forward fold with this extended right leg. So nice little hamstring stretch. If it's really intense, can always bend the knee a little bit or a lot. You might come out of the forward fold a little bit too. That will help with any intensity that you might be feeling. All right, and then as you inhale, you can lengthen forward, bring hands to legs. And then as you inhale, you can use your hands to help you press up. Go ahead and bend that right knee. Just take a couple of breaths in your Tadasana. Notice how you're feeling. All right, so we're going to try to keep all of this space we've created, and we're going to come into some downward facing dogs. So you can use a table in front of you, a wall, a chair. Second chair works really well. And you have options with the chair. You can have either the seat of the chair facing towards you. I like to have the back of the chair towards me because then I can kind of utilize both if I want to. So I can kind of check out that you have the right distance there. You can always adjust. Finding our Tadasana again. So knees landing over your ankles, pressing into your sit bones. Arms released by your side. Inhale, arms reach out and up. And then arms are about shoulder distance apart. Bring your palms to face forward. Spread your fingers and then start to hinge at your waist and then lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then go ahead and rest your hands on your chair, on your table. You're pressing into a table. That can be really nice because you can spread your fingers, press into all 10 knuckles. And it's almost like you're kind of pressing the table away from you as well. Can line up your ears with your biceps. You're feeling your inner arm wrap towards your outer arm. So you're creating width across the backs of your shoulders. And you're keeping your breath smooth and steady. It's a pretty strong pose. Again, you're really wanting to access space through your spine. You can almost think of it as like you're almost like telescoping your spine. So as you root into your sit bones, you lengthen from that place all the way up through your thoracic, your cervical spine. Couple more breaths here. Good. And then you can just bring your gaze slightly forward between your hands. Take your right hand to your thigh, then your left hand to your thigh. And then just nice and easy, use your hands to help you press up to a nice tall seat. Take a couple of breaths here. And we're going to do one more. So again, just releasing your arms by your side. Inhale, take the arms out and up. It's about shoulders distance, maybe a little wider. Spin the palms to face forward. Really activate your arms so you're firming muscle to bone. And then keep your spine nice and long as you start to hinge forward at your waist. Again, just resting your hands, spreading your fingers, pressing into all 10 knuckles. Ears lining up with your biceps. Breath smooth and steady. As you anchor into those sit bones, you lengthen through the sides of your waist. So we're just trying to find a lot of spaciousness here in this downward dog, especially in the spine. And then start to bring your gaze forward. Bring your left hand to your thigh, then your right hand to your thigh. As you inhale, use the strength of your arms to press yourself up. Good. Closing your eyes, couple of breaths here. Good. And then we're going to move into some breath work. So let's do some nadi shodhana, some alternate nostril breathing. I'm going to come closer here. Start to give the wrists a little circle out. And move in the opposite direction. And firecracker hands with all our might. Come on, Zoom. Come on. Maybe it only happens in July. Okay, so now we're going to throw some thumbs ups. Zoom is not cooperating. I'm gonna have to send a letter to somebody, tweet or an X or whatever you do. All right, so let's do One final little finger stretch here. Kind of like, I don't know. I always think of like doing sand with this. Good. All right. So let's start with our left hand today. Let's just be crazy. You can take your right hand on your thigh. As you know, you can block with any fingers. Classic mudra is to bend your second and third finger in. So the ring and pinky kind of become one. Find that bony part and then move down to that cartilage. So that's where we're going to be pressing to block the nostrils. You don't have to press very hard. Just be mindful that your elbow doesn't start creeping up. So we want to keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Allow both eyelids to close if they're not already. Take a deep inhale through both nostrils. Full complete exhale through both nostrils. Let's block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Good, go ahead and release your left hand down. Take a couple of inhales and exhales through both nostrils. And then we're going to move to our right hand. So again, whatever setup works for you. Let's inhale through both nostrils. And exhale through both nostrils. Block left, inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Inhale right. Block right, exhale left. Inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Release your right hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. And exhale. And then we're going to move to some form of Shavasana. You're probably staying where you are. You're just changing how you feel. You're inviting in this sense of rest and surrender, this sense of assimilation. You're inviting the body and the brain to kind of put together the work that we've done this past hour. Of course, if you want to take a supported child pose, classic Shavasana, you're always welcome to do that. But just find a place where you can really relax and be still these final few moments together. Asato ma satgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma mritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Start to bring a little gentle movement back to your body. So wiggle fingers, toes, circle ankles, wrists, stretch out. You'll eventually land with your hands in a pile on top of your heart. Do one final check in here. Notice how you're feeling differently than when we started. Send yourself love and gratitude for showing up, for making the effort. We send each other love and gratitude for the support in the community. Finally, just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day and week ahead. Bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today. Thank you, everyone.